Hello and good morning, everybody. It is very nice to see you here. Welcome to the Impact Money Show. Really love doing the show. This is another enlightening episode of the Impact Money Show where we bring you stories that move markets, shape policies, and influence your financial decisions. Let's kick off with the cryptocurrency sector, which has been nothing short of explosive. Bitcoin just crossed a monumental threshold, breaking the $100,000 mark again, peaking yesterday at 100,580, I think it was, depending on which exchange you're looking at. After the latest consumer price index, CPI data suggested that inflation might finally be on a downward trajectory, or at least third report says, right? This surge not only ignited a rally across the crypto market with altcoins like Algorand experiencing nearly a 20% increase, but it has also raised the stakes for investors. However, with Bitcoin now trading slightly above 99,000, we're left to ponder whether this is a momentary pause, an opportunity for accumulation, or the beginning of a new volatile cycle. We'll delve into the implications of this crypto boom and what it might herald for the future of digital currencies. Moving to the Middle East, there's a flicker of peace on the horizon, with Israel and Hamas agreeing to a ceasefire in principle. This could mark a significant step towards de-escalation, but as history has shown, such agreements are often fraught with challenges. We'll explore how this ceasefire might influence regional dynamics, security issues, and all the always volatile energy markets, keeping an eye on the potential for both progress and obstacles. Nature, unfortunately, is not taking a back seat. Tropical storm Milton is brewing in the Gulf of Mexico, with projections indicating it could transform into a major hurricane before it reaches Florida. The economic implications of such an event are multifaceted, from direct damages to long-term effects on local economies like tourism, agriculture, and the insurance sector. We'll dissect the possibility of economic aftermath and what it means for investors in the sector. Here in the District of Columbia, we are still under the snow. It doesn't look like it's moving anytime soon. Frozen stacks of it everywhere. It's kind of cool. One of the nice things about Washington, D.C. is we get all of the seasons. I lived in Florida for a while down in good old Boca Raton. Probably a little too long. I figured I better get out of there, man. I went down there for a year. I stayed for a bunch of years. Saw my friends up in Washington, D.C. They were doing important stuff, moving along with their life. I said, you know what? I probably ought to get back up to Washington, D.C. And that's what I did. But we have nice 4 seasons here. It's a nice 4 seasons. And so we're getting a little bit of snow. We don't always get a lot of snow, but we're getting some nice snow today, which is pretty cool. And or not today, this session. Of course, it's going to be cold for everybody on the inauguration. It's going to be cold on the inauguration. It's going to be cold for the events. Make sure that you bring your coats. Have some good stuff to go with those ball gowns. On the West Coast, Los Angeles is once again contending with wildfires, the latest being the Sunset Fire, which threatens both property and the city's economic stability. With the Natural Weather Service sounding alarms about severe fire conditions across California, we're reminded of the growing economic toll of what is going on over there, affecting everything from real estate to insurance policies. What is happening over there? Why aren't they able to get this? I think they need to take some steps in order to get these things under control. And you guys know what I'm talking about. We'll examine how these challenges are reshaping economic landscape and what this portends for future investment strategies. In the political arena, Donald Trump's second inauguration is drawing near. And it's not just about the ceremony. The attendance of tech moguls like Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, and Mark Zuckerberg suggest a potential transformation and a transformative relationship between Silicon Valley and the new administration. This could lead to new policies on tech regulation, innovation, and digital economies. We'll consider how this could play out in the tech sector and what it might mean for tech investments. Now, this photo of Trump, that is the official photo. I had it on our splash screen, but I'm going to put it up here. I'm just going to share it because it's worth looking at. All right, hold on a second here. I'm using all my tabs. I need this. I need those tabs because I got the prices of crypto scrolling down. I want to keep that there. Okay, boom. I want to keep that updated. Boom. Take a look at this. I mean, you talk about dark MAGA. Talk about a man that is looking. Here he is. Let me just talk about a man that is looking like he is looking for retribution. I mean, it's a stark photo. It really is something else. If you take it, someone put it side by side. It's worth looking at here. Let me just pull it up here. Trump photo. So you look at him on the first and the second, and it is woo. It is really something else here. All right, well, this can work too. This is, like, I'll tell you what, guys, if he really does go after people, it's something else. I don't know if that's really going to happen because, people get in and they got to make deals, and you know what I mean? That's just normally the way it works. All right, this is, here's the one I want. Let me just, you know what? Let me just share this screen. We can look at it together. Share this tab instead. Boom. Look at this. No, that's not the one I wanted. All right. Well, shoots. It's right here anyway. There we go. I want you guys to see it because it's worth looking at. So this is 2017. Look at him. He's just so happy. He's so happy. He's going to get in. He's going to make deals with everybody. This is going to be great. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. Then, of course, they go after him big time. There he is. His mugshot. We have I think the only president with a mugshot. There he is arrested. I think that was in Georgia. Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure of it. Georgia. Which is a pretty historic spot. And then again, and there we have the shot from today, or from, share this tab. Look at that. Look at that. It's really something else. It is something else, guys. It is something else. We'll see how everything plays out. That is really something else. On the legal front, debates over justice and sentencing are heating up, with a notable case in the Netherlands involving migrant teens sparking discussions that could resonate globally. This case touches on issues of youth justice, human rights, and immigration law, potentially influencing legal framework worldwide. We'll analyze the broader implications of this case on international law policy. Amidst these challenges, there's a moment of natural beauty to look forward to. The Northern Lights are anticipated in several northern U.S. states, which could stimulate local tourism economies, although the cloud cover could play a spoil sport in the whole thing. It's a poignant reminder of how nature can both challenge and enrich our economic lives. In Washington, the confirmation hearings for Trump's cabinets are under scrutiny. Pete Hegseth's nomination for defense secretary has been contentious due to past allegations and his stance on various issues. They're really just, they really don't like that guy. He's like, I don't know how many times he's married or anything. I really don't know much about him. But they had a beautiful wife, 6 kids or 7 kids or something else. I mean, yeah, sure. There's probably some other girls in there. You know what I mean? Men are men, I guess. But, I don't know. I don't think that seems to be a problem. And then they're really hammering on him. And then, of course, we have Pam Bondi, the Attorney General's hearings. This is spotlighted concerns of political independence. Of course, now we go from, it's so funny. I mean, Pam Bondi is obviously a pretty lady. And, we go from the last administration where there really wasn't that much beauty involved to multiple people that are pretty good looking. It's kind of interesting. She did a great job yesterday. It was pretty interesting to watch. These confirmations will set the tone for U.S. policy across defense, justice, and more. We'll provide in-depth analysis on what these appointments could mean for the direction of the nation. The inauguration itself has become a cultural touchstone, particularly with Trump's second-term portrait, which some interpret as embodying a call for justice. And that's what I was just showing. I mean, it really is something else. It has divided public opinion, which supporters viewing it as a symbol of resolve and critics seeing it as a sign of potential authoritarianism. We'll explore the cultural and political significance of this portrait. In technology, we're witnessing a revolution with AI at its core. Luma's AI Ray 2 model is set to redefine video content creation. With Microsoft's new AI division and Samsung's robotics push signal an AI-dominated future. However, the industry is also grappling with ethical dilemmas highlighted by the tragic death of Suchir Balaji from OpenAI, underscoring the need for corporate accountability and the protection of whistleblowers. Of course, they are ruling that a suicide, but it stinks all the way from Washington, D.C. around the world. I mean, that just stinks. This guy, the whistleblower, committed suicide. It's just, everyone's wondering where were the Clintons? Did I say that? All right, I said that. Lastly, in financial markets, we've seen the Dow surge, but the future is a bit flat this morning. There's speculation about a possible retreat or consolidation. Oil prices are climbing back to around $80 per barrel, influenced by geopolitical tensions like the Houthis blockade. While natural gas has doubled from its lows in August, over doubled, due to cold weather and export dynamics. I think the Houthis have a lot to do with that as well. That shipping route that they have a blockade on is very important, I think, for the natural gas. So from the volatile crypto markets to geopolitical shifts, from environmental challenges to technological innovations, today's episode of the Impact Money Show will guide you through these complex stories, offering insight you need to navigate these dynamic times. Stay with us as we continue to explore these narratives, connecting the dots between finance, policy, and technology to give you the comprehensive view of the world's economic currents. I have joining me here the great Matt Dixon, the Market Watch Report. Sir Matt, how are you?
Hey, good morning, Bruce. Morning, Impact Money viewers. Great to be with you again. I'm jumping in and sharing my screen straight away, so I hope you can see that.
Yes, I can.
Great. So yesterday we had the CPI figures out. We warned about it yesterday. We said it's going to create some volatility in the market, especially if we beat or missed expectations. Now, I'm just looking at the figures now because we had a massive reaction. As you say, Bitcoin jumped to over 100,000. We saw Solana rallying. We saw stocks rallying. The market absolutely loved these figures, but they weren't quite, I don't quite understand the magnitude of the move based on these figures. So if we just look at these, the results yesterday. So the figure on the far right here, 2.7%, for example, when we're looking at the inflation rate year on year, 2.7% was the last reading, 2.9% was the expected reading in the middle, then on the left was the actual reading yesterday, 2.9%. So the year-on-year inflation came out in line with expectations. So the middle line, remember, is expectation, and the left one is the actual result. So we can see here that the year-on-year inflation was absolutely in line. We see the core, and the core is obviously excluding food and energy, those volatile things, which I don't know quite why would exclude them. But yes, the inflation rate came down a touch.
Nobody else knows either.
Yeah, I mean, there's good reason. I say good reason, not good. There are reasons that they state for it. I'll read them out. I don't know quite how useful it is. They say they're volatile, but they're actually what with the things that we live on, food and energy. They're our main consumption, really. So I think that the headline is probably more important. But if you exclude these volatile things of food and energy, then yes, the inflation rate dropped from 3.3 to 3.2% year on year. Now that is still way, way above target. Target's supposed to be 2%, and we're at 3.2%. So it's just a fraction below. You couldn't have got it a smaller drop, 0.1 of a drop from expectation. So yes, it dropped a little bit. And we carry on down. We go to the month inflation. The monthly actually came out a touch higher. So monthly was expected at 0.3, came out at 0.4%. So monthly headline inflation was higher than the core was absolutely in line, monthly core inflation. So I don't really see why the market got so excited about that, and the market's rallied so strongly.
They just wanted to rally. Everybody's like, it's the inauguration week. Trump's coming in. We need a rally. And
they wanted to rally because I think a lot of the market were caught wrong-sided. So they rally for other reasons, I think. So this is the excuse.
Market
CPI.
makers. The market makers liquidated all the shorts.
Yeah. So let's just have a look at what the CME FedWatch tool says about the interest rate expectation for the coming Fed meeting. So there's still, I think yesterday before the news, there was a 97.9% chance that the rates were going to stay on hold. And yesterday that dropped from 97.9 to 97.3. So 0.6% of a change in the likelihood of the interest rate staying the same. So in other words, it's still nailed on that the rates are going to stay the same come the end of this month Fed meeting about interest rates. So they're still going to stay the same. There's no change really in expectation of what's going to happen to interest rates. So why did the market take it so positively? I'm not quite sure. So let's have a look at the markets themselves. I mean, this tells me that, the rates are going to stay the same. So there's not going to be any material difference at all. And we're still going to be data dependent and watching data. So here we just jump over to the DXY, the dollar index. So this was the news yesterday. We saw, we saw a bit of a downturn in dollar. It's picked up again. This is just the 1 hour chart. So it's quite a sensitive chart. But I put this on here just to show how we could potentially trade it. So first of all, we got here, if you look at the line above here, this is higher highs in price. And we got corresponding lower highs in RSI. Also, we have an overbought RSI situation, which corresponds to the price here. So we had enough signal to tell us that the dollar was going to sell off, and it did sell off. And then we got here what's called a hidden bullish divergence. And this one is where you get higher lows on prices, but lower lows on corresponding RSI. And also, interestingly, this circled area, we see that RSI is actually oversold here at this point here. So it was telling us hidden bullish divergence that the dollar was likely to rally from here, and that's precisely what happened. So it's following our indications quite nicely, but it tells me also that there's potential for, at the moment, we're operating under this hidden bullish divergence signal. At the moment, it's potentially higher for dollar. So I still think there's potential for another turnaround just to catch people out on the risk assets, because the dollar has a relationship with risk assets. So that's quite interesting. And if we look at the dollar against...
Sorry, it was a little, DXY was slightly down as I was putting the show together, and it has inched slightly up.
Yeah, slightly up. I mean, we've seen a bit of volatility just whilst the show's been on, actually. I mean, Bitcoin is 99, it just dipped to 98 something. But yeah, and Solana has been massively volatile whilst the show's been on.
Our futures actually, since we started the show, have dipped negative as well, just slightly.
Yeah. So, I mean, here's the yen, the dollar yen. Again, it's looking potentially negative. I had an arrow down here, potentially finished a wave 5. The dollar yen is kind of inverse to the dollar. So if the yen strengthens, it pushes this dollar yen down, and yen strength is usually correlated with risk in the market. So I just think there's potential for risk in the markets. But yesterday, as I said, you've got to be very, very careful coming up to that CPI news. It's not a good time to trade when you've got a big news event like that coming out. So we gave good warning about it. The pound as well the movement up looks to be corrected. Now, this is generally positively correlated with risk assets. So when it goes up, usually risk assets are going up. Now it appears to be going down. The interesting point is this movement up looks corrected because of all the overlap. This movement down overlaps this movement up. This movement down overlap this movement up, etc. There's a lot of overlap there. This looks like it's a corrective move to the upside, so potentially more downside to come. That would equate with dollar strength, and probably if we see dollar strength and the yen strength in particular, even more yen strength, then we'll probably see sell-off in risk assets. So there's still risk, a lot of risk hanging about. So we had some good news on the geopolitical front, as you said, with the exchange of hostages and so on, and a temporary peace, a pause in the hostilities in the Middle East. But who knows, as you say, there's a lot still going on in Russia, Ukraine. There's a lot of potential risk in the market. So just very briefly, let's jump over to Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin. Yeah, I went out yesterday on Twitter saying there's still a couple of possibilities. We either had from the top, and I'll stay on the hourly chart just to show. So from the all-time high there, 108,000, we had an A, we had a B, and we could have finished the C wave here. So actually it's a WXY, in fact, which each of those waves is made up of an ABC down, ABC up, and then an ABC down. Now that could be absolutely complete. We could have completed a larger WXY, which is a completed corrective move. And now we could be pushing impulsively to the upside, and that's still a possibility. So there's two possibilities now, two main possibilities on the table, and we have to decide accordingly. And I mentioned this yesterday about these two possibilities, and it's playing out. So potentially the upside here could be already on the way up in basically a wave one down, one up, two down, three up, and taking us to the all-time high straight away. Or we could have the WXY may not be complete. This could actually be a larger A wave, smaller A wave, smaller B wave, and still a C wave down to come. So there's potential for still some movement down to take us to another low. We were targeting at one time, possibly around the 87,000 mark for Bitcoin. That's still a possibility. So there's still a lot of caution required when you're trading this. You've got to be very, very careful. A lot of people have jumped on long now. Everyone thinks the market's going long, so there's real risk. And don't forget, we have got some more, we've got more important data to come out right in the run-up until we get the interest rate decision. So I'm just saying there's real risk. The
interest rate decision is going to come, what, days after Trump gets into office as well?
Yeah, it's the end of the month, basically, right at the end of the month. So potentially, we could potentially be at a potential turning point. Now, if I just open this out, you'll see the interesting setup we have here from a Fibonacci level. So I'll just try and open it out more so you can really see on this time frame. It's just the 1 hour, but that's what we need to focus on now for this relatively short-term price action that we've had. So potentially we can count this easily. We can count it as a 5-wave move up, and if it is, we'd still expect some kind of 3-wave move back before we move higher again. But that's the impulsive move to the upside has begun to take us to new all-time highs. The alternative is, it could be, I've got the alternative or A or B, and then it's a bigger or B situation. So what I did, I measured this potential A wave here. You can see from the bottom here to top of this or A I've got, and I transposed that to this potential B wave here or B, a touch higher in fact. And it gives us almost precisely the top at 0.618, which is actually a really good relationship for this wave. Or it could even go potentially higher. It could go to 100%, could take us to 104,000 perhaps on Bitcoin before a potential correction. So I'm just saying there really is two potential sides here. We can go much, much higher, or we could actually turn down and take a new low below this dip that we had to the 88,000 or 89,000, it was somewhere around there a few days ago. So as always, there are two possible sides to this, at the moment, it's looking corrective down here. So I still think there's a little more upside potential. But I'm just saying, over coming days, there's risk both sides. So whatever you do, protect your positions and make sure you're not overly exposed. And the same goes with Solana. Again, I measured the Solana potential move up. Solana could potentially be moving here. We've got potentially 5 waves again. 1 up to here, 2 down, 3 up, maybe 4 down and 5 up. It's potentially an impulsive move out of a low here that we had, a big corrective low, and it's just a really nice correction that we had here. Nice and clean. So we had from the top here, which was a previous pretty much all-time high. It was actually a double top with the previous all-time high of $265. We've had an ABC down, which is making a W. We've had an ABC up, making an X. And as I mentioned yesterday, we've actually had a 5-wave move down, which is either an A wave or it could be an ABC already completed, the Y wave down. It's still actually open to, it's really open to interpretation. It looks very short for a Y wave, and it looks like a nice clean 5 waves down. So it could just be an A wave with a B wave up to here somewhere, then a further C wave down to come. Now that's actually my preferred interpretation for the time being. But yesterday, after 5 waves down, or the day before yesterday, to $169 was actually a very clear buy point for a potential B wave higher. And then, but I still think we've got a real strong potential for a C wave down. So I would be very, very cautious about just jumping on all the euphoria about going long. Yes, it's jumped an awful lot, but this is a typical potential B wave, and there's just risk of downside. So I'm just trying to urge more caution. I'm always saying be cautious. As Bruce knows, I'm quite a conservative, cautious trader. But if we do get a further drop, what I'm saying is if we get a further drop in a C wave, I'll actually be all in. When I say all in, as much as I go all in, I will be all in. If we get a C wave down,
yeah,
I'll be wanting to jump in long. So at the moment,
down below 150 is just tasty.
Yeah, I prefer to keep my powder dry. Yes, I might miss out on this big move higher potentially, but if it drops lower, I'd be able to jump in heavily with a long position, maybe even with a small amount of leverage to go for a massive amount of upside. But if it just carries on upside now, I'll miss out on the move, admittedly, which I'd be very disappointed and sad about, but that's how it goes.
That's how it goes. You can't get them all.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, even gold there's not absolute certainty. We've got here, we do have regular bearish divergence in play at the moment with gold. Actually, it's very close on the alley to being eliminated if the RSI jumps above there. But even so, back to the previous high up here, we've still got massive regular bearish divergence. So there's a potential turn down for oil. I'll jump back up to the 4-hour just to make things a bit clearer. It's a bit too concentrated there. So let's just open it out to the 4-hour. So we can see a bit better. You can see the all-time high there for gold previously there, and we've been chopping around. I still think potentially there's lower to come, and you can see I've got this big blue line for potentially lower to come on gold. Now to move down, if it was a correction down to the 100% extension, would take us to 2479 on gold. I still think that's a real possibility. I think this movement has been choppy sideways. We haven't managed to break this high that's around this level. There's resistance overhead. We may just push up possibly to test that resistance again. Who knows? But I just think there's it looks quite impulsive to the downside there, but the movement since that has been sideways, very overlapping. You can see this move down here overlaps this move up here very clearly. And if we've not even surpassed the previous highs here. So it looks choppy sideways. So I still suspect there's a real likelihood of movement down. That would probably be, as Bruce was saying yesterday, there's a correlation here with dollar. If we did see stronger dollar, you're likely to see potentially weaker gold. And I think there's just chance for one more higher run on the dollar before we see a reversal. If that happens, it would potentially hit the risk assets like Bitcoin, but it would also hit gold here with a reasonably strong regular bearish divergence here at the moment. So potentially strong downturn to come for gold. So again, I'd be cautious. If we push up to this level, I'd actually be interested in going short with a stop loss just above these previous levels here.
Yeah.
Or maybe even your stop loss could be the previous all-time high with the potential of a lot of downside in proportion to the potential upside there. So I'm looking for probably one final sell-off in these markets before we get another massive Trump rally. Maybe a little bit after Trump gets in. Maybe there's going to be a bit of volatility. But I know he's got some good policies lined up for crypto. So let's just see how things go. But everyone's expecting good things. When everybody expects good things, expect there to be surprises, because the market can't always be all right. Yep. So I'd be cautious.
Everybody can't always win. That's the way it works.
Yeah. And XRP, we're approaching the previous all-time high now, 331. We're 315 right now. I did say we're likely to at least test that. I think there's a reasonable chance we'll test it and possibly get a rejection from that level, push down. Doesn't mean we won't push up. I think we probably will push up again and smash through it and to real new all-time highs. But I just think there's real long-term resistance. I probably can't scale out enough to show you where that was. That was a long time ago that we got that all-time high. But we had a triangle here, probably A, B, C, D, E triangle. This is probably a terminal thrust from the triangle. Remember, a terminal thrust is the final move within that cycle. So this is some kind of wave 4, and this is a wave 5. So after wave 5, you get an ABC correction. So I do think that we're close to a reversal in markets, Bitcoin, Solana, XRP. We're probably going to push higher short term, but I do think we're going to get quite a substantial correction. And the correction would normally take you into the territory of the previous wave 4. So this is looking at a potentially substantial correction. But then after that, again, I think we push to new all-time highs, substantial all-time highs for the risk assets. So I'm just saying short term, I'm wary of a potential pullback, but that would be the time I would want to jump in heavily into all of these risk assets for really good potential upside. It's the same across the board. We've seen some really good moves, a corrective move down here. It's still not clear whether we're actually moving up impulsively, because the move up here.
This is Litecoin.
This is Litecoin. Again, one of your favorites.
Nice move. Nice move on that one.
Really nice move. We came down from the 90-something area, 92 area. We're now at 117, and it's just looking really, really powerful.
It sticks, like I always say, man. It makes those moves, and it just sticks. Makes that move, and a lot of times, with some of the other assets, you're like, oh, I can short that top. Man, don't do that on Litecoin. Don't do that on Litecoin.
But again, we look at potential resistance a little bit overhead. As I say, I think short term there may be a little bit more upside ahead, but I do think this looks like 3 waves down. It also looks like some kind of corrective move to the upside as well. So I do think there's potential for a turnaround in Litecoin, and like all of the other assets, they'll all fit together pretty well. You can be sure we could have another final downturn before we get the real big rally to take us to all-time highs for a lot of the assets. Maybe not Litecoin, because that's got a lot higher to go, but who knows? Maybe even Litecoin will do an all-time high. But as I say, my conclusion for today is that I do think that we're probably pushing to, a little bit higher before we get another downturn in the markets. Probably not worth. We will just look at oil, because you did mention oil has had a real push higher, which is a bit worrying. That's going to be a big push on inflation again. We've had inflation figures maybe slightly better than expected, but if we do get geopolitical troubles, oil will push higher. Now, oil is one of the big expenses for an economy, because as we say, it's involved with transport, it's involved with manufacturing, it's involved with heating, and you talked about the cold spell and everything. So oil drives prices. So if oil price is pushing higher, and it's pushed a lot higher, I mean, it wasn't long ago now, it was $65. Now it's $79. That's a massive percentage move higher. This is a big drag. And yes, it's a lag effect, but it will increase prices, no doubt, of goods. Now, if we get more geopolitical trouble, we're going to push even higher on oil prices. This is going to push inflation higher. It will mean the Fed hands are tied. They will not be able to reduce interest rates. In fact, there may even be pressure to increase interest rates. And that little bit of a respite we saw yesterday in CPI, that could be reversed and we could push higher. So there are real risks in this market. If we see it push up in oil prices, it is going to hit risk assets. So again, just be very, very cautious that there is potential real risk in the markets. And I think if you want to look out for anything, I think oil is the one to watch for geopolitical risk. Maybe over the next week or two, oil is the one to watch. So of all the charts, oil is probably a really good one to finish on. And we need to watch this closely because potentially, again, we look as though we may have somewhat higher to go. Even if you look at it, I'll just try and scroll out finally, longer term. In fact, I'll go on to the daily chart just so we can look a little bit longer on oil. We can see that the movement down, we appear to have had a movement up, which looks corrective, 3 waves, downward corrective. We didn't surpass this low here and we've already started moving up. So there's potential really for oil. If we just put a Fibonacci measuring tool on there, just measure this corrective move from down here, transpose it to the bottom of the last move, we can see there's potential for a lot of upside. Potentially $97 would be 100% extension of this wave here, transpose down to here and up to here, $97. We're at $79 right now. So you can see from a technical perspective, there is potentially quite a bit more upside to go. We're pretty much on, we're virtually sitting on overbought territory, but there's still plenty of potential movement upside for the oil price there. So that is the one to watch, I would say. Solana, by the way, has jumped from $99 when this show started to $209. It's
everything popped just now, huh?
199 to 210 now. It's really popped. Yeah.
Actually, Bitcoin hasn't really popped. Bitcoin went down a little bit, came up a little bit, and all the alts popped.
Yeah. So these are worrying signs for me, and the one to watch is oil. So I think we'll finish there for today. I've actually sadly got a funeral to go and attend today, so I'll leave you for now. Look forward to catching up tomorrow, Bruce, and thanks everybody for listening. And just as a final note, keep an eye on oil.
You got it, brother. Well, prayers for you and your family, and yeah, we'll see you.
Thank you, Bruce. Thank you, everybody. Bye for now.
Cheers. The great Matt Dixon, the Market Watch Report, world class. As I always say, world class analysis that we get here. It really is an amazing. It really is an amazing thing. The markets, you really can do very well. You just don't get greedy. That's like one of the big. It's one of the big things. Take your profits when you have your profits, okay, and protect your profits. So Matt always talks about protecting your profits and then making good trades. If you don't have a good trade, don't just make a trade to make a trade. You know, a lot of people just want to always be in the market. Well, it's not always good to just be in the market. You know, no one bats 1,000. And if you're trading, especially with leverage trading, you can really wipe yourself out very, very quickly. Trust me, I know. I want to talk a little bit about my my good friends. Of course, the Liberland, the country of Liberland is in town. And they are here for the inauguration, doing their thing. And we have been involved, my brother and I have been involved with Liberland for nearly a decade now. And I put out an article about it yesterday. Articles, here we go. Published. Liberland. This is really something special. Of course, President Vitt is a good friend of mine. I know that Matt knows him as well. He's a good guy. He's been on the world scene for quite a while now. Let's see here. I think this is it. Yes, here we go. So I put this out yesterday. I wonder now. Let me see here. Let me just. All right, here we go. Liberland's delegation to the U.S. presidential inauguration in 2025. I'm going to just find this in a bit more readable spot here. Let's just go Twitter. I love X. Twitter. It's my favorite. It is my favorite. Make sure you follow me if you're watching on TV or or some other place, make sure to follow me on X. That's where I'm at. Here we go. This will be easier to read here, I think. Lieberland's delegation to the U.S. presidential inauguration 2025, and an intriguing intersection of new nationhood and established diplomacy. The Free Republic of Lieberland is set to make its presence felt at the U.S. presidential inauguration in Washington, D.C. This burgeoning micronation, which claims a small, unclaimed piece of land between Croatia and Serbia, is not only about to celebrate its representation at this historic event, but also marks a significant moment in its journey towards international recognition. Of course, as I mentioned, we have been part of this for quite a while. I'm going to take you through some of the historical pictures and things. A new country in the global stage, Lieberland, declared by President Vit Jedlica in 2015, has become synonymous with the libertarian ideals and blockchain technology. Known for its philosophy of minimal government and maximum personal freedom, Lieberland has been navigating the complex waters of international diplomacy with a focus on fostering peace, trade, and innovation. The delegation attendance at the inauguration symbolizes Lieberland's ambition to amplify its voice for freedom on the global stage. The event, scheduled for January 2025, will see President Vit Jedlica leading the charge, with the delegation's activities culminating in the rooftop reception on January 21st at the Atlantic Plumbing Building, co-sponsored by Tron, the great the Tron network. Tron, a blockchain platform. Attendance is free and requires RSVP. So I did email you. If you're on my list, you got an email about this, and you are invited to join us. We will be there at the Atlantic Plumbing Building on the 21st, and you are invited to come. We just need to know if you're going to come so that we know how much food and booze to have. So please RSVP. We would love to see you there. This is back in 2018. I had met President Vit in Dubai. One of my friends came over. Actually, it was one of the guys that had brought me over to Dubai to speak at one of the conferences, World Blockchain Summit, I believe it was. He said, "Hey, Bruce, I want to introduce you to somebody. I want to introduce you to President Vit." I said, "Who?" He says, "President Vit." I said, "Who?" He says, "The president of Lieberland." And I said, "Lieberland, is that place for real?" He says, "Yeah, man, the president's right over here." So I hopped over. I said, "Well, let me meet this guy, President Vit, right there." Of course, we were both a bit younger looking at the time. We snapped this photo. We talked a bit, and I invited him to come speak at our Washington Elite AI Blockchain Summit, and he agreed to come right there on the spot. Says, "Yeah, we'll come." And so that was really something else. And while they were here, they were able to have some state meetings. They were recognized by the Libertarian Party while they were here speaking at the Washington Elite event. So it's pretty special there. But I was able to snap that photo. You can see this is back in October 24, 2018 was when I posted this. I had met him probably a few months before that. Historical context and diplomatic endeavors. The Lieberland territory, which lies in the Danube River, was previously unclaimed, which has been a point of contention for over half a century. This land was not part of any recognized national boundary, making Lieberland's claim historically unique. I'm going to pull this back up in a minute as I get down to the to the pictures here. However, this has not been without challenges, particularly from Croatia, which has at times actively opposed Lieberland's physical presence by demolishing structures that were built there. The dynamics have slightly shifted now with Croatia's entry into the European Union, which might have alleviated some pressure, though the situation still remains complex. Now, Serbia, on the other hand, historical support for Lieberland adds another layer to the geopolitical narrative, offering a counterbalance to the Croatian opposition. President Vit Jedlica's recent meetings with high-level Croatian officials suggest that a new chapter in the relationship might be unfolding, aiming for a more amicable resolutions. I'll pop this back up here because we're about to get to my. I got an award. I got the star. Hey, dude, Hey, man. Boom. Comment there from my good friends, one of our friends over on the role of Bruce Porter Jr. and the Washington elite. The connection between Lieberland and influential figures like Bruce Porter Jr. and the Washington elite conferences have been pivotal. Bruce Porter Jr., of course, is talking about myself. This is an article that I wrote. Along with my brother, his brother, David Porter, has been instrumental in facilitating Lieberland's integration into international discussions through their galas and conferences. Their efforts have not gone unnoticed. Bruce Porter Jr. was honored. I was honored with the Star of Merit, the Lieberland Star of Merit by President Vit Jedlicka during the Habsburg event in Vienna, Austria, which we also had a hand in. Recognizing this was to recognize his contributions to the Lieberland's diplomatic outreach. This relationship has included numerous interviews and high-level meetings showcasing the commitment to pushing Lieberland's agenda forward on a global scale. And this was on the official Lieberland account. I think it was their Facebook account. Bruce Porter Jr. received the Lieberland Star of Merit for his extraordinary support of our small yet ideologically empowered nation during the annual Habsburg reception. And you can see that bad boy right there. Nice heavy metal. It's on display here at the house. And of course, I have some other posts that I just pulled up over the years as I was putting this together. So, well, let me just see. I said, I'm proud to play such a role in the success of Lieberland. We believe that liberty is an unalienable right. Learn more at lieberland.org. And of course, this is just sometimes we were together. This is my friend Shandor Habsburg. He is the one of the dukes, the Archduke, depending on that of Austria. He's also the Prince of Tuscany. My good friend Stephen Melnick right here. Stephen Melnick is or was an ambassador at large for Lieberland. And then, of course, that historical picture right there that we have. Again, another meeting. We had some high-level meetings here. This was back in 2021. I posted this other one back in 2021 as well. 2021, great day with my friend, the president of Lieberland, Vit Jedlicka, meeting with members of the royal family in Abu Dhabi and other diplomats. The photo is with President Vit. President Vit, the ambassador Gabriel Abed of the Barbados. This is Gabriel right here. And the Lieberland representative, Zuzana, who has also done a great job. Of course, this is me with the vice president of Lieberland, Bogey. Bogey, we call him, really great guy. And of course, there's an article that they published about coming to the Washington Elite Conference. And this is back, they published this back in February of 2019. Yeah, it's kind of, it's funny, guys. We have done a lot of stuff. It's been a heck of a ride. It really has. Yeah, just a nice article that they wrote about all that. And then let's see here, some more stuff. Looking forward, as Lieberland participates in this significant American tradition, it does so, talking about the inauguration, okay? It does so not just as an observer, but as an active player seeking to influence and learn from one of the world's oldest democracies. Of course, we're a republic. Okay, we're a republic. But anyway, the delegation's republic democracy, I guess. The delegation's presence at the inauguration reflects a broader narrative of how new states can emerge in a modern world, a totally new country, leveraging technology and ideology to claim sovereignty in a contested and geopolitical landscape. The reception following the inauguration on the 21st will likely serve as both a celebration and a strategic meeting point for Lieberland to further its diplomatic ties. Of course, I wrote the article. I mentioned myself in there. This event is open invitation for supporters and curious onlookers to engage with what Lieberland represents, a vision of a future where freedom, innovation, international cooperation converge. For those interested in witnessing this historic moment and perhaps contributing to Liberland's journey, the RSVP call is the gateway to potentially influencing the narrative of a nation that is as much about ideas as it is about land. And again, that RSVP email is info@liberland.org. Okay, info@liberland.org if you'd like to join us on Monday for the reception. And then under my article here, you can find this all on X. I just have some various interviews and things that there's more, but some various interviews there with me and Vit around the world and talking about it. But I'll tell you what, guys, when I heard about it, how to buy token X 4 a.m. pre-sale? Let me know. When you had a country like that is freedom and it's everything, and you have a chance to be involved in something that is so special, I jumped all over it, and I'm very happy that I did it. I think that Liberland has a very bright future, and we're going to do a lot of amazing things. It's great that Justin Sun, the founder of Tron, has become involved, and I think the sky is the limit. He will be here. If anybody wants to meet him, just let me know. He will be speaking as well at our DC inaugural week events at the Crypto Leadership Conference and the Bitcoin inaugural ball. He'll be speaking at the Crypto Leadership Conference on Saturday. So come out and see him. It's at the MGM. Make sure that you get your tickets today. DC inaugural. DCinaugural.com. Get your tickets today. It's going to be a lot of fun. And that is about it for me this morning. I'm going to pay a advertisement we put together for 2Bit. Make sure you join. You can hit the QR code right over there in the corner. Make sure to join, and then we're out of here.
Hey, Randy, I got another home run for us, man. This 2Bit exchange is absolutely amazing.
Hey, Bruce, what's up, man? Yeah, why don't you tell me about that 2Bit exchange?
Yeah, that's right. And we're going to be able to list our coins that we want, that we support, and they're going to be on this amazing derivatives platform. It's absolutely awesome.
Derivatives? I love derivatives. I can't wait to be on the trade copy program.
So what I want you to do is set up an account and then send me your UID, and let's set you up with a trade copy system, and you just let it run. Copy our trades. That's it. Easy peasy.
So you want me to open an account, send you my user ID, and you hook me up with the trade copy system. I can't wait. Sounds spectacular.
Hey, Matt. Hey, listen, I met with the guys at 2Bit Exchange while I was in Dubai, and this platform really looks amazing.
Yeah, hi Bruce. Yeah, thank you again for that heads up. I mean, I've looked into this 2Bit platform. It does appear to have everything we're looking for.
Yeah, that's right. 2Bit, Toobit. They have great liquidity. They have futures platform. There's a lot of functionality that I think you're going to like on there. And they really want to work with us. They want to work with the Impact Money Show. And as you and I both know, if they have a good product and they want to work with us, well, hey, that's half the battle.
I mean, basically, I love that copy trade facility. I love the features on the platform. It's basically very simple to use.
Our viewers only need to set it up to copy our trades, and they just do all the trades that we do. Makes it really easy for people to participate. I think they're going to love it. I'm pretty excited about it.
And yeah, it's definitely going to benefit people. I mean, obviously with all the years of experience that we can pack into it, and people can basically benefit from that. Yeah, I definitely think it's a goer.
Hey, David. Yeah, man, I'm excited about it too. I mean, when you think of the ways that we can help our viewers earn money and be able to participate in the monetary revolution, this 2Bit platform just opens up all kinds of doors that they don't have right now.
Hey, Bruce, I'm checking out this platform. It's revolutionary.
That's absolutely correct. And the futures platform is amazing. great liquidity, and the copy trader program, people are going to be able to make the trades exactly when we make them and make the money that we make. It's a win-win for everybody.
Open for U.S. customers, and you can deposit money with the credit or debit card. Doesn't get better than this.
Beautiful. And what do you think we should use as a referral code?
I think we should use Impact Money. That's the one. Impact Money.
Your voice is powerful. When combined with social engagement, it's a force for change. Decentralized media paired with free speech is the catalyst for an empowered world and a unified, invaluable ecosystem. Join Global Boost, become a champion of free speech, and help to reshape the future of media.